Well guys, it's been about 8 weeks since I last did some pike fishing. Let's get fishing. Very clear water at the moment. I really like clear water, fishing clear water, but it can have a tendency when it's this clear to really make the pike a bit wary of the bait you're running past and of things that they can quite easily see on the bank, a la me. I'm just going to run this across the top for a few casts and see if anything wants to have a poke. I'm going to flick it out, not super far, just to about mid-water. Let that one sink right down. We can, if we want, let that one fall completely kind of unrestricted, give it some slack, let it drop. You'll get a really natural drop, but what you've got to be careful of, or at least really mindful of, is that pike will hit it on the dropper bait like this. And if they do, you've got to reel that slack down and pull into the fish as quick as you can. You don't want a pike taking this bait, you know, any deeper than it really needs to. In an ideal world, you've hooked the pike just inside its mouth. This is a venue I used to fish quite a lot when I first started pike fishing, but I'd use hard plastics, jerk baits and things like that. But what kind of didn't really click with me is just how deep this water was, up until I'd fished it for probably the best part of a year, and you realize that it's like 18 feet deep in the middle, really deep, and it helps to be able to get down. And I got some really good attention off of crankbaits, really big crankbaits, hybrid baits and things like that with lips, and got some great fishing done. Saw some absolute beasts, you know, like easy 20s. So what I'm hoping for today is to try and encourage one of those to have a hit. We'll cover the margins, we'll cover the depth. I'm running relatively fast at the minute. What I might want to consider is dropping down to a heavier, smaller bait, or something with a lip, just to do a bit of searching, try and find the areas that pike are held up in. This is a fairly slow stretch of the Avon, so looking for areas of slack is fairly difficult because none of it moves particularly fast. That said, there are a few areas of like good cover, good lily growth, and kind of ambush points for things. That is a monster perch following then. Absolute beast. That would have been a nice thing to have had on this. This big bait, it's the 28 centimeter drunk dancer. It might be the 23 centimeter, sorry, I forget what the bigger size is, but it is the bigger drunk dancer. It's one of my favorite baits. I've got it on a 15-gram screw and jig head. You can take this one up quite heavy if you've got deep water to go through, but I find being able to run it slowly is slightly better than being able to drop it down quickly. So that's what I'm going with today. Single treble, and yeah, fairly strong braid, a decent thick fluorocarbon, just because that's what I've got rigged up at the minute. But typically I'd use wire with a setup like this. When I started fishing this venue, this was the spot that would consistently yield good results, but it was often from small fish that just hung in the margins close to all of this weed in front of us, and I don't think fish like that are going to hit my bait today. We do have a couple of options out to our right. You'll see this big kind of thick, that was my net pulling my rod around. Thought I had a fish on then. This big bed of like reeds to the right, thick bed of reeds, that's really good to cast along. And then you've got that lily pad kind of growing up out there. There's a lot of lily pads around there usually, and it offers some pretty good fishing. There's a pike, tiny little guy. He's not gonna have a pop, we won't let him. There he goes. I've not had a great deal of fish on this particular lure yet. I tend to buy them few and far between, just because this guy now costs close to 10 quid, which for a soft plastic which may only last you a session, that strikes me as quite expensive. I'm not necessarily saying it is, that is just the cost of things, I think. But when you can buy similar baits to this for much cheaper, sometimes those are the option, the better option. Or even if you can get baits that kind of fish the same. So for me, something that swims the same to this, the Fox Rage Pro Grub. which is a single-tailed curly-tail shad. They come in 16 and 23 centimeters if you want bigger sizes. So there's lots of opportunity for big pike fishing on those. We're in. Oh, out of that, out there. Nice. And we're going to need to net him as well, which is something I haven't had to do for a while. Just need to keep him out of those snags. Come on, he's thrashing around a bit, but I can't let him get into those snags. Net that up. Much easier than my last net, but right. He's only lightly hooked, but he's in. Oh, there's a stinging now right there. Well guys, it's our first pike in a little while, but it's a nice one. Really hefty fish. He's recently been feeding, you can tell just by the big lump in his midsection. Reasonably short fish, reasonably heavy, fought hard, but we needed to play him hard to keep him out of the snags. Let's get him back. Good little runs along heavy weed and cover. Exactly what we're looking for. I need to make sure that where I'm standing is firm ground. Last thing I want to do is fall in the river. Let something down. Didn't see anything, we'll check the right side. A lot of grass there. Oh, grass like weed I was thinking I would pull out, but it came off. Can't see any pike in front of me. A few small fish. No pike. Letting us hit the bottom on this one, and then we're going to slow retrieve in. It's kind of weird, the like pegs and stuff I've got access to today are really nice. They seem kind of well cut out. Still quite a lot of weeds around to be fishing around, but there just doesn't seem to be as many pike around as I expect this time of year. Perhaps I'm still just a touch too early for it. Well guys, it may only have been one fish, but hey, it's nice to get out pike fishing again. I'll be out again soon, so don't forget to like and subscribe to catch the future videos. I'll see you in the next one.